Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for being here today. This is going to be an extra video this week, kind of a midweek video. It's going to be a part 2 to the Chris Watts reading that I did a couple of weeks ago, but I want to focus more on NK, the Mistress. So before I start though, as always, if you are into tarot cards, tarot readings, true crime cases, unsolved crimes, and the occasional candle making video, please consider subscribing. And for those of you who come back every week, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So like I said, this is going to be a part 2 to the Chris Watts reading, and for whoever requested this video, thank you, because now all of my time is 24/7 Chris Watts. I have landed, I have taken a shortcut trip to Watts Island, and I have not been able to get off. Okay, so it is becoming obsessive on my end. There is something about this case that I think draws people in, simply because I don't think once you start learning about it, you don't feel like there's justice in this case. There's 50% justice is what it is. And so yeah, Chris is put away. He is where he belongs, no doubt about it. But who else belongs there with him? A lot of people think that that would be the Mistress NK. And once you start digging into this case and really reading and watching videos and learning about the Mistress, you start to wonder, why isn't she behind bars? Because there's just too many coincidences, and there's so much circumstantial evidence against this woman that I'm kind of shocked that she has not been arrested. So I'm not going to get into all the details, but I do want to get right into the reading. I am going to be focusing on a few things as far as NK is concerned. Right now, the biggest news was last week, where Chris Watts came out and said he was going to no longer be, well, I shouldn't say he came out, but it was put out there that he is no longer pursuing the 35C. And so speculation is going on about that. I don't know why, nor do I care. I don't think that he is going anywhere anyways. But there's also some rumors going on that there could potentially be something big happening this coming week, possibly an arrest. And I think that the main thinking is, could this be the arrest of NK? So that's kind of what I want to focus on. I want to ask specific questions about NK. I also want to ask about the woman who was seen on the neighbor's security footage camera, or security camera footage, about the woman who was apparently seen walking up to the Watts home in September, the month after the murders took place. I want to ask specific questions about who that female was. I want to ask if NK had anything to do with the murders themselves. And I don't mean anything with the planning. I mean physically. What was she in that home that day, that morning? And did she have any hands-on role in that? Because honestly, I can't help but to have an opinion. I do feel like she was in that home that morning, and I do feel like it's possible that she attempted to kill the girls, which I hate even saying. It is just sickening. But I do feel like it's a possibility that she attempted to kill the girls, and I believe that Chris killed Shanann, and I don't think that she realized how much strength it would probably take to kill the girls, and I don't think that she did it successfully, which is, again, sickening to say. But I do believe the story. I think there is one story that Chris recalls himself that he did kill the girls, or thought he killed the girls, and then went on to kill Shanann, and then the girls woke up and it freaked him out, and then he had to kill him again, which is horrid. It's just, it's so like, I just don't know what kind of person can do that to your own children. We as parents would die for our children, right? We would take any kind of harm that comes our way to protect our children. And so what's going on in his brain? Like, anyway, I do feel like it's possible that she was the one who did attempt to harm the girls the first time. Just my opinion, no facts about that. This is just my personal opinion. So I do want to ask the cards that. And also to go back to the woman that went into the house in September. I don't know if I said that, but I want to ask if she was there that night, or if she was the woman. And I also want to ask if she was in that house when the police did the search. Was she hiding? So I have those, and then I also want to ask, well, of course, the number one question is she going to be arrested? Is something going to happen this week? And then I also want to ask, there's something going on, or something, I think there was something in the discovery that, I don't know, it's a little bit confusing. There was something in the discovery that said that there was a Google search on Shanann's computer back in, I think it was 2017, where she had Google searched Shanann and Chris, which would really contradict her statement in one of her interviews when she said that she did not know Shanann at all, and she didn't know Chris until she met him at work. And so I believe that that was in the discovery, and I believe that it was asked, and it was reported that that was a typo, but I don't think it was. I think that I personally think that it's a possibility that NK knew Chris long before we ever would suspect. So I also want to ask about NK's dad, if there's anything going on with him, if there was any kind of role that he played in this, whether it be after the fact of just protecting his daughter, but I would like to know. And then also I want to know, what was that 111-minute phone call about? What did, let me write that down. So we know that the night before the murders took place, we know that there was a phone call between NK and Chris, and that phone call lasted for 111 minutes. Now, Chris claims he can't recall what the phone conversation was about, and NK told the police detectives who were questioning her that she could not recall what this conversation was about. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and ask the cards and see what the cards say, because I, for one, think that they were planning. I think that they were planning. I think that they were planning the incident, the crime, and I think that they were planning their future. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask the cards. But that's kind of what this reading is going to focus on. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got two decks. Both are Lo Scarabeo. This is, I did not realize that the After Tarot was a Lo Scarabeo deck as well, but it is. So I think I'm going to start with this one here. This seems to give me very accurate answers to my questions, and so let's just get into it. Let's get into it, and let's ask if there is in fact going to be an arrest this weekend, or this week, or soon. Let me just ask soon. Is there going to be an arrest in the Chris Watts case this week? Actually, I'm going to specifically ask, is NK going to be arrested? Is NK going to be arrested this week? Is NK? Oh. Well, as a yes, my yeses have, basically, if it's a card with a positive connotation, it's a yes. If it's a negative connotation, it's a no. And so the Nine of Pentacles definitely screams yes to me. But as far as timing is concerned, we've got those snails. We've got those snails on those pentacles. And so that kind of tells me that I don't necessarily know if it's not going to happen as quickly as we expect, or if it has just taken a very long time, because it could be either or. We're going on 3 years in this case, right? So it could be just that this is an arrest that has been long time coming, or it's not going to be as soon as we would like it to be. So let me see if I can draw another one and clarify. Is NK going to be arrested soon? Is NK going to be arrested soon? Is NK going to be arrested soon? Well, this is definitely a celebration card, and so I do look at that as yes, I really do think that there is something going on in this case involving NK, and I think that this is going to be all the people that are out here thinking that justice has yet to be served. Like I said, justice has only been 50% served, and in order to have full justice, we need both of the partners. We need him and we need her. And so I do feel like this is a really good card saying that, yes, justice is coming. There is going to be cause for celebration. Both are going to be in the place that they deserve to be in. He's already there. She's soon behind. So definitely two good cards to pull for an arrest for NK. So I also want to ask, let's just go ahead and ask, let me put these aside. Let me go ahead and ask, what was up with the 111-minute phone call? What was NK and Chris Watts talking about for 111 minutes that neither of them can recall? So what was the conversation in that 111 minutes? Conversation in the 111 minutes. Oh, look at that. So we've got the Six of Swords. This is escaping. This is leaving. This is leaving. So I wonder if they had plans to get out of Dodge, if they were just going to leave. What were their plans? Or, okay, more on the conversation. What else did they talk about? What else were they talking about on the phone? Oh, okay. So, we're not going to get the whole story of what they were talking about, but that definitely tells me that whatever they were talking about, they don't want people to know, okay? So it tells me that it was bad. I think that the conversation, they both very well remember what they were talking about that day. And part of their plan was to get the hell out of there. So I don't think that they were planning on sticking around very long. I think they were planning on leaving. And thank God Shanann's friend got involved in, early on. And I think was the whole reason that their plan didn't go as they expected it to go. But definitely this secrets, because the moon is secrets. It's things that are hidden. But guess what? It's things that are going to be exposed as well, because the moon illuminates. So I feel like whatever they were talking about in that phone conversation is going to come to light eventually. We are going to know. We don't know now because they've kept it a secret. And this card also says they weren't just not recalling. Okay, they both recall what they were talking on the phone that night. They are keeping it a secret. This confirms that they remember. This is telling me for sure they know what they were talking about. They talked about it for 111 minutes. They know exactly what they were saying to each other. They didn't forget, but they don't want people to know. But people are going to find out. So what else were they talking about? What else were they talking about? Pull one more card. Oh, okay. So to me, they were talking about the plan. They were talking about what they were going to do, what was going to be done, either later that night or the next day. They were talking about the plan. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you when I'm asking about the 111-minute phone conversation between Chris and NK. We've got leaving, we've got the plan, and we've got keep it a secret. So to me, this is all about planning. This is the whole thing. The whole thing. Wow. Yeah, interesting. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. So let me ask, what else do I got here? Was NK at the house on Saratoga Drive the morning of the murders? Was NK at the house on Saratoga Drive the morning of the murders? Was NK at the house on Saratoga Drive the morning of the murders? Oh, look at there. We have a man literally sitting in a house. We have a man sitting in a house. This is unbelievable, okay? Let me put that up. I asked if NK was at the house the morning of the murders, and I literally pull a man sitting inside of a house, almost in a squatting position. He's waiting, right? It's like he's waiting. Yeah, I definitely think that this is, yes, she was in the house. She was definitely in that house, and she was waiting. I do believe she was squatting. She was waiting. This shows a man squatting in a house, or sitting in a house waiting. Wow. So, let me see. Oh God, I have too many here dropped out. All right. I want to ask if she physically participated in the murders. I do think, without a doubt, she helped plan. I think that they were planning and doing that kind of stuff a long time, so I don't think there's any really big question at this point whether or not she was involved indirectly. But what I want to know is, did she physically play a role in the crimes? Did she physically play a role in the crimes? So, I think when I see this card, it just tells me of a person that gets, just gets dirty in it. It is definitely involved, definitely hands-on. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. He has been through it, okay? He has literally been through the struggle, been through the battles. He is still standing. He's got a wound on his head. Okay, he's got all. This is definitely telling me that there was some sort of. This to me kind of makes me feel like there was some sort of a struggle. Definitely a physical struggle. That's interesting. Let me pull another one. Was NK physically involved in the murders of Shanann, Bella, or Cece? Was NK involved physically in the murders? Oh God. Ace of Wands. Absolutely. An ace is a definite yes for me. Aces are yes. These are new beginning cards. These are new thoughts, new feelings, new emotions, new everything. Okay, this is a hard yes, if anything. I actually will go so far as to say this was her idea. This was even her idea. I do believe that Chris went along with it, and so he is equally responsible. But I do believe that the idea came from NK. She was the catalyst. She was the one, the brains, if you want to call it that, the brains behind the plan. Okay, and she definitely had a physical role in this, and she was definitely, look at that, she was at the house on the morning. She was definitely at the house. I think she was hiding. She was in the house. She was hiding when Shanann got home that morning. Because the way the guy is sitting, it kind of just creeps me out. It's a little bit weird. It's like he's sitting and waiting. Okay, so it's like, that makes me feel like she was waiting someplace, sitting someplace and waiting. Would these crimes have taken place if it hadn't been for NK? Would Chris have done this if it hadn't been for NK? Would Chris have done this if it hadn't been for NK? Yeah, look at that. Fool. He did not know what he was getting involved in with regards to NK. He literally, he is literally the fool. Like, this fool card represents him to the T. He just is a blind dog. He's like the dog. He is the dog in this case. I almost feel like he is the dog, just following the leader, just going wherever he is told to go. He just doesn't have, you know, I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so I don't know what his issue is, but he is definitely a follower and not a leader. And so I do believe that he was following what was brought to him. And I do believe that that was brought to him by NK. She was the mastermind behind all of it. But I also feel, because of these two cards, because of the Nine of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, I do believe that she was there and she took a physical role in what happened. I want to ask if she harmed either Shanann or the girls physically. Did she harm Shanann or the girls physically? The World. Wow. Wow. Interesting. You know, as a yes card, it would, or as a yes or a no card, it would be more of a yes card for me. And I almost hate to say this, but I feel like it's saying that she really was the end of their worlds, their lives. I do believe that she is definitely, no doubt about it, he deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life, because he did, I believe, take the life of Shanann and ultimately his girls. But I do believe that there is another person, NK, that is just as equally guilty as he is. And so even if you look at the World, you know, you've got balance. You know, this is a card that represents balance as well, completion. There isn't completion in this case, and that is why everyone is so fascinated by it and so involved in it, because we know that it's not completed, it's not finished, it's not done. Okay, so, you know, in order for people to be able to move on, I think, and accept that this happened, it's a horrible thing, because I think another reason, and I know for me personally, I can only speak for myself, but one of the reasons why I'm so attached to this case is because you do feel like after a while you know Shanann on a personal basis because of all of her videos out there. And so, you know, she does just seem like that average next door neighbor that you would have. And, you know, I do feel so sorry for her, because I think that she tried to put on this, you know, everything's perfect, wonderful, I'm happy, 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 and possibly deep down it just wasn't the case. But she did seem like such a personable person and a very caring person, you know, and so I just feel like everybody is attached to this case because of, one, Shanann and her babies, and number two, that this case is not closed, it's not completed. And this tells me that that is the case. It's not, but it will be. This actually gives me hope that there is going to be some finality to this case. So that's a good sign, actually. I want to ask if NK is the woman who went into the home 1 month after the murders took place in September. Is NK the woman who went into the home in September? Interesting card to pull for that one. So the Five of Swords. So this right here is her in the middle. She was focused on something. She was focused on, okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to draw another card here. Was NK the woman who went into the house in September? Oh, God, Jesus. The hell? Death. Transformation. Was NK the one who went into the house in September? I honestly, if you look at the Five of Swords in this particular deck, you've got this one person that is kind of covering their ears and definitely kind of feeling like an outcast, and this is definitely not a good card. It's a struggle card. It's a chaos card. It makes me feel like... Then we've got the Death card. Was there something... Is there something that could implicate her? Is there something that she would die to get? Is there something... I feel like there's something... There was something that she needed to get. Was NK the woman who went into the house in September? Let me see what that one is. It was trying to come out. Yeah, I think it was her. I think it was her without a doubt. And it was causing her stress. Whatever it was bothering her. That's what I feel like the Five of Swords is. I feel like, yes, it was her, but I feel like whatever it was bothering her. She needed to get it out. She was desperate to get it out. And whatever it was, it could have caused severe damage to her. Like, she had to get it out. There was just no... There was something in there, and I do believe it was just one thing. So interesting that the Ace of, or the Ace of Pentacles came out, because I don't think that she went in there for anything other than just one simple thing. I don't know what that one simple thing was. It might not be simple. I shouldn't say simple, but it was. I think it was one thing. I think that there was only one thing that she needed. And she needed to get it out because it would ultimately be the death of her. I think it would implicate her, and I think it would ultimately be the death of her. She was worried about it being found. Whatever it was, she was definitely concerned, and she needed to go in and get it. What I want to ask is, was she still in the house when the police were called and they ended up doing their search? Was she still in the house at that time? Was she still hiding in the house when the police were in the home doing the search? Page of Swords. Wow, interesting. Let me pull another one just in case, because I'm a little bit... Interesting. Was she still in the house when the police came? So we've got the Page of Swords, the Empress, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Empress coming out is, I don't have any questions, you know, as far as that being Shanann. That is definitely Shanann. And I'm quite surprised that she is coming out at that question. So again, my question was NK still in the home in September, that night that there was a call to the police that a woman was seen entering the home on Saratoga Drive when the police were doing their search? Was this person still in the home hiding? So I have got a Page of Swords and a Knight of Pentacles. Now, I kind of feel like the Page of Swords is NK, because the Page of Swords is always that person that kind of acts before they think, and they act before they think. They just don't have the experience that they feel they do. And so I do feel like this was her, and I do feel like she thought she was going to be able to slip in and slip out without anyone seeing her, and it didn't go as smoothly as she had planned it to go. Somebody did catch her going up to the door, and so I think that kind of threw her off. And then So there's that, but I'm a little bit thrown off by the Empress, because I definitely, without a doubt, I don't have any doubt that Shanann and her, little girls and her son are in, a good place spiritually. I think that they are together, and I think that they are, like I said, I always say this in my videos, I don't believe that a case has to be solved in the earth realm for our spirits to be able to move on. I think that we can still be okay and together with our loved ones, even though our cases or these situations may be going through what this case is, for example. So I'm a little bit concerned about, not concerned, but the Empress threw me, because to me that kind of says that Shanann was in the house too. And so I do kind of feel like Shanann is coming through in this reading, and I do feel like she is doing what she can do on her end to make sure that there is justice in this case. So I also feel like this is definitely I feel like, to be honest with you, this is NK, and this Knight of Pentacles is Chris. And it's interesting that we have the Empress, whom I am associating with Shanann, is in between the two of them. And so I do feel like she works with both of them. I really do. And by works, I mean she is doing what she can do on her end to make sure that justice is done here in Earth. And so I do think that she plays a heavy role in whatever outcome happens. So definitely I think Shanann is determined to, and I don't think that for her to do that means that she's not at peace. So I think she can still be with her children, she can still be at peace, but she can also still want justice for what happened to her and her children and to her family. And I think that she is working on her end to try to make that happen, if that makes sense. So again, I want to ask, because that kind of threw me off. So I want to ask, was NK still in the house when the police did their search? I would definitely say yeah. Where was she hiding? Where was she at? Where was she hiding? Where was NK in the house? Where was NK hiding when the police were in there? She was definitely covered up. We have a person here, covered up with a blanket, literally from head to toe. I do think that she was definitely in the house and she was hiding. So we've got cold, right? We've got possibly a place that is cold. I mean, we're literally looking at these cards as clues. Everything in the card is a clue. So we've got the weather. We've got this person kind of covered up with a blanket of some sort or something. The head is covered. It's dark. Okay, so it's definitely dark wherever she was, and it's definitely cold. So is there a chest freezer or something? Did they look in all the freezers and whatnot in the house? I don't know. It was definitely cold and it was definitely dark, and she was cold and she was covered up. So wherever she was definitely cold and hiding under something, or she had some sort of a blanket or a towel or something over her as well as her head. So very, very interesting on that one. So, Okay, let me ask if NK had the key code to the house, because I kind of believe that, let me move these out of the way. I kind of believe that when NK gave Chris the key to her apartment, I do believe that he reciprocated and gave her the key code to his home, to his and Shanann's home, because I think he's capable of doing something like that, and I think that she had access to that house. I also think that there was another means that she would enter and exit in that house, or from that house, without using the front door, and I think that he did that frequently when Shanann was home. This is a big home. This is not your average size home. This is a 4,000 square foot home. So you could definitely sneak someone in the basement, and you know, your spouse upstairs isn't gonna necessarily hear anything. It's big enough to be able to do that. And so I do believe that he had NK in and out of that house way more often than what we suspect. So did he give NK the key code to the house? So usually with the Seven of Cups, this is my drug card. This is my fuzzy head, kind of head in the clouds, not thinking straight card. And immediately when I pulled this card, boom, Oxy comes into my head. Because if you're familiar with this case, you know that Chris was giving Shanann Oxy in the weeks prior to her death because he was hoping to cause a miscarriage. So that actually makes me think that when he was drugging his wife, possibly with this Oxy, that was also a time that he was sneaking in NK to the home. So while his wife is probably upstairs, either knocked out, unconscious, or sick, he is probably fooling around with NK in the basement, which is disgusting and sickening. So I do feel like when this, like I said, Seven of Cups is drug for me. That's what it means for me. This is also 7. This is a repetitive number, right? It's 7. I do believe that she was in that house several times, way more than what she was admitting to police, okay? She has only admitted to the police that she has been at that house twice, even though her phone pinged in the area in Frederick on the morning of the crime. So that ping on her phone has never been explained. So that's a big one. You know, so I do think that she has been there more. Did he sneak her in? Did Chris Watts sneak NK in and out of the house? Did Chris Watts sneak NK in and out of the house? Oh, definitely. Definitely he snuck her in and out of the house. We've literally got a door. We've got a gate, a door, and we've got the 2 pillars. This is a gate. This is a gate. She went through a gate. So I don't know what kind of fencing or gates that they have around their home. This tells me that she went through this gate many times. So yeah, that's crazy. Rainbow. What's up with the rainbow? What the hell is up with the rainbow? There's something going on with the rainbow. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a curtain, if it's a blanket, but there's something going on with the rainbow or the colors of the rainbow. That's interesting. I don't know what it is, but I do think that she was going through a gate. There's some sort of a doorway, some sort of a fence, some sort of a gate, something, some entrance way that she was exiting and entering from in that house. Huh. Okay. I want to ask, where did Chris get the Oxy from? Where did Chris get the Oxy from? Wow. Do you mean to tell me that he got that oxy by himself? Because that is hard for me to believe. The Hermit. I don't know. I need to clarify on that one because maybe he could have come up with the idea of the oxy by himself, but I don't know if he was able to get it by himself. He must have gotten it. He must have had help. How do you get oxy? He was giving Shanann large quantities of oxy. You can't get anything like that nowadays unless you are, you know, with broken bones. I mean, even with that nowadays, it's very hard to get anything like that. So he had to have had help. Where did he get the oxy? Where did Chris Watts get the oxy? It was definitely given to him. Wow, we've got an exchange. So there was some sort of give and take. So it was definitely given to him by someone. He definitely, he paid for it. I mean, he purchased this, I think, from someone. This is definitely very interesting that this is interesting that this came out because, you know, honestly, now that I'm looking at this card, I don't think that this is Chris. I don't think that the Hermit is Chris. I think that the Hermit is the person that he got the oxy from. I really do. I don't, this is not Chris. He found a source. This is the source of the oxy, whoever this is. This would possibly lead me to believe that the person was a male. But definitely not Chris. I think that, you know, was this just a random drug deal? You know, definitely he bought it. What can we learn more about the oxy? What can we learn more about the oxy? Who's behind the oxy? Who's behind the oxy? I think there's several people that knew about it. I really do. I think that that's interesting. I think that a lot of people, I think that there were several people were aware of what he was doing with the oxy. And I do believe that all these cups, this 10 of cups here, represent him actually giving the oxy to Shanann. I really do. I think that he gave it to her in a drink. I really do. That's the way I take this card, the cups. I think that and honestly, the fact that this is a 10, I feel like he gave it to Shanann a lot. I feel like he gave her several cups or drinks with oxy in it. I don't know if Shanann drank tea, if she was a coffee drinker. She doesn't strike me as a coffee drinker person. You know, I'm seeing him make his wife a nice cup of hot tea, and he's putting some oxy in it, and she's drinking the tea. She's thinking, oh, how nice, he's making me a cup of tea, not knowing that he's trying to poison her or kill her, or, you know, make her have a miscarriage. But I do think that this indicates to me that he gave her cups of it, drinks, and he gave her it several times. Possibly at least 10 times. He has given her that oxy. So that means he had a lot. He had a lot. Was this just some sort of I mean, it could have been even, I always kind of felt like NK was behind it. I always felt like she was the one that had the access to it. But in all honesty, if I'm fair, and I'm trying to be fair in this case, it could have been just even bought off the street. Okay, he literally could have just bought it off the street. You know, that's a possibility. You know, who is the Hermit? Is this, you know, a drug dealer? You know, that's kind of where I'm leaning. Let me pull one more card on the oxy to see. Where was the oxy purchased from? Who supplied the oxy? Who supplied the Oxy? Well, I will say this. I don't know who necessarily supplied him with the Oxy or who he purchased the Oxy from. I do believe that he did purchase it because of the Six of Pentacles. So this was a purchase. But there will be some justice, okay? So I do think that karma is going to play a large role in this case. I do think that things are going to happen that need to happen. I don't know how quickly it's going to be, but I do think that things are moving in the right direction, and that everybody who participated in this is going to see and experience their judgment day. So I will say that. So I think, especially with that moon card, I think that all of it's going to come out. I really do. I think it's all going to come out, and we're all going to know a lot more. We're not going to know everything, but I think we're going to know the majority of what has transpired in this horrific case. So I want to ask really quick, did Shanann know, or not Shanann, did NK know Shanann and Chris Watts prior to 2018? Did she know Shanann and Chris Watts prior to 2018? So did NK know Shanann prior to 2018? Let me pull a couple. Oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Huh. This tells me that they were fond and familiar with one another a lot earlier than 2018. I think that she was scouting him out. I think this is her, this is him, and this was her playing the waiting game. I really do. I honestly, this is her. So the Page of Cups is basically, you know, cups are feelings, love, emotion. Not always love, but feelings and emotions. And so when the Page and the Knight of Cups come up, that makes me feel it's kind of like a relationship. It's a new love, new feeling, whatever, something along those lines. And so I do believe, when I'm asking if she knew them before, I think that she had a thing for Chris way before 2018. I think she did. That is a yes. She did know both of them. I think she was aware of Shanann just as much as she was aware of Chris, and I think that she had a thing for him. I think she looked at him as her means to financial security. I really do. I think that she probably, you know, knew what type of home they lived in. I think that she looked at him as her means to security, period. Because this is the King of Pentacles. That's who she's seen him as. That's who NK seen Chris as, is the King of Pentacles. This person who could take care of her financially. This is a person who has money, who has things, okay? Based off of what she's seeing online, because I do believe that she was Googling both of them. And if you Google them and you see Shanann's videos, you see that they have nice things. They have a nice home. They have nice cars. They have everything. And I think that she was really wanting that. And I do believe that that was her key motive in the beginning. And I think that she literally, you know, the Four of Swords, this is a waiting. This is a resting. I think she waited until the right opportunity. I think she planned. I think she took her time. This wasn't something that she rushed. I think she had her fangs into him way early on, and she was waiting for the right time to attack. Let me see here real quick. Did she know Chris Watts before she started working at Anadarko? Did NK know Chris Watts before she started working at Anadarko? And of course, I pull the Knight of Cups. Like, seriously. Yeah, I would even venture to say that they were even messing around before she started working at Anadarko, because this is, I just literally pulled the Page of Cups. I literally pulled the Page of Cups and I pulled the Knight of Cups. This is a relationship. This is a relationship that was developing before her job at Anadarko and before any of this, before any date that she put out there. So this is something that was in the process long before we ever suspected. I've heard rumors that Chris Watts helped her get a job at Anadarko. Did Chris Watts help NK get a job at Anadarko? Very interesting. Now, if I had to guess, this would actually be more of what she's going through today than the answer to the question that I just asked. So let me ask again. Well, hold on a second. I don't know. You know what? How long am I in here? 50 minutes? Okay. I do want to pull a reading. I want to do a spread on her, but let me ask to clarify. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. This is a very good representation of Chris, I think, the King of Cups. That would be a good match for him. I really do think that that is a good match for him, because the King of Cups is always somebody to me that hides his emotions. That's very can have a mask, and you can't tell what he's thinking or feeling at any given time. And so I do feel like I do feel like that is a good representation of him. But the Eight of Swords, I know it doesn't go with the question, but I kind of feel like, honestly, that is, I honestly feel like that's her now, present day. So I actually want to put this deck away, and I want to bring out the second deck, and I want to see if I can pull a spread on her, on NK, and see if we can kind of get a current state of mind. How is she doing now? What's going on with her now? I also, actually, before I do that, let me shuffle one more time. I want to ask one final question. Would this have happened? Would Chris Watts have killed his family if it hadn't been for NK? Would Chris Watts have killed his family if it hadn't been for NK? Oh gosh, Jesus. So the Ace of Wands tells me that she was definitely the idea, the mastermind behind it. I think that she was definitely the one that came up with the plan, the one that came up with the idea. And I honestly, now if I were to look at the star card as a yes or no, it would be a yes. So it's possible that something, would have or could have happened. We really don't know. But I kind of feel like she was really the ultimate key. She was the main reason. She was the catalyst. And so that's the way I'm kind of looking at the star card. Let me just draw one more just to confirm, because at this point I feel like she was the catalyst to this. She was the mastermind, and I don't know if he would have done it yet. So let me ask again. Let me clarify that star card. Would Chris Watts have murdered his family if it hadn't been for NK? Would Chris Watts have murdered his family had it not been for NK? The Queen of Cups. Interesting. Very interesting set of cards to pull for this one. So, who's the Queen of Cups? I think it's possible. Honestly, I would have never have guessed this. I do think it's possible that something like this could have eventually happened. I think before this drawing, I would have blamed NK 100 times over again. I do think that she is the one that came up with this idea. It was her thought, her original idea, but he was definitely down for it. He was supportive of it. He liked the idea. He followed through on it, and I don't necessarily know if things would have went without a hiccup had it not been for NK. I think that it's a possibility. And if it hadn't been the cards, I would never say that. I think it's a possibility that he would have done something even possibly without NK's influence. And I would have never have guessed that, to be honest with you. I do feel like the Queen of Cups is Shanann, because that Queen of Cups is that protective, motherly, loving figure. And then, of course, I did just pull the King of Cups, and I feel like that was a good representation of Chris. And so I do feel like, you know, and another thing, it could have been, or to be honest with you, it could actually be the opposite. It could have been, you know, we've got the Star card. That's goals, happiness, wishes, you know, our dreams, things that we want to accomplish, being at peace with oneself, being balanced. Okay, so it's possible that it could be the other end of the aisle where it would have been fine. He would have never have done anything like this. He would have been okay with his wife. There would have been balance. It would have just continued on the way it was continuing on. Okay, guys, my battery is about to die, so I need to really hurry this up. I don't even know if I got interrupted because I just looked at my screen. So, really quick again, would he have done this had it not been for NK? Would he have done this? No, I don't think he would have, honestly. I really don't. I think I was reading it wrong the first time. I don't think he would have done it. So, okay. Really quick before my battery dies. Reading on NK. Reading on NK. Otherwise, if my battery dies, then I'm going to have to charge my phone, and then I'm going to have to, like, finish up. So I'm trying to hurry. Reading on NK. Actually, hold on. Let me grab my... Okay. I don't want it to stop. All right. So I want to know what's in NK's mind right now. What is going on in NK's mind right now? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to end it on this one because I think this is a good one. Well, she's got money on her mind. She's not happy. The Four of Cups. She's not happy with the way things have turned out. Things didn't go according to the plan. So that's good. So she's definitely not a happy camper. She's really sitting here looking at how things did turn out, and she's not happy with it. Okay, so she is looking back on all the choices that she made and wondering how the hell things went the way that they did. But there is definitely, you know, some money in her mind. But then we've got that rabbit. Look at that rabbit. To me, that's somebody that's like a trickster. So I definitely think that, you know, I think honestly her motive was more money than it was Chris. I think that her goal, I don't know if that has something to do with why she goes with married men. I don't know if she thinks that they're more settled, or I don't know if they're more financially stable. she really didn't know who she was messing with if she was interested in Chris for financial gain, you know, because I don't know if she realized his financial hardship that he was dealing with. But I do kind of feel like part of it was for financial security. I think she looked at him as a means to a more financially secure lifestyle. But she definitely feels like she is in control of everything. She is definitely the mastermind of everything, and she is definitely working behind the scenes to control the narrative. And this magician here tells me that she really believes that she can. She believes that she controls the outcome of this case. And I have news for her. You know, that's really not the case, because guess what? We've got that judgment coming. We've got the Judgment Day coming. This is an awesome card to end on, and I think that's what I'm going to end on today. So I think that she has her idea of what she wants to happen, but then here is the reality of what is going to happen. And so karma is going to, I believe it was interesting that I read some YouTube channel that was covering the case, and they had the discovery up on the screen, and it was showing the text messages between her and Chris. And I remember a statement from her. She said something about how she believes in karma. Actually, it was emails. It was work emails between her and Chris. And she told Chris, she said, well, I believe in karma. And I truly hope that she remembers saying that, because I do think that karma is going to be the one that gets her in the end because of this judgment card. But up until now, I think that she still has money on the mind. Let me just quickly ask, was there some financial motivation behind this whole thing? Was there financial motivation? Because financial, yeah, look at that. She wanted the house. I think she wanted a big house. She wanted the marriage. She wanted the money. She wanted everything. I think she was actually seething with jealousy. She wanted everything that Shanann had, and it was all jealousy. I really do believe that. Look at all these pentacles that's coming out. That is definitely money. And that house, look at that house, that big house. It's like a castle here. I do believe that, you know, that was part of the plan, because if you think about it, you know, I don't know if there was life insurance on Shanann. I'm sure there was. I think there was some. I don't know how much, but, you know, if they had talked about it and in their sick heads planned to, you know, kill his family and get life insurance from his wife and his children, you know, no child support, no divorce, nothing, and they just live happily ever after, and they go to the sand dunes every weekend, and they go camping, and she has this huge home that she is now living in. I think that that was ultimately her plan, as sick as it is, but I do think that that was her plan, her motive. Yeah, so I think that I think that's where I'm going to end. I was going to draw one more, but I think I want to end with that. I want that Justice card to be the last card that I draw for this case. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, let's just keep an eye out with this case. Hopefully something's going to happen this week. You know, like I said in the beginning of this video, like I said in the beginning of this video, there's rumors that there's going to be possibly an arrest. So let's hope. But I do take that judgment card seriously, and I think something's going to happen eventually. But until then, anyway, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on Sunday. Have a great one.